Welcome back to Cryptos Are Us. I'm George. We're all George. So if you thought today was good, if you thought today's pump to 47,000 was fantastic, just wait because something bigger is coming. A more massive pump is incoming, and I'm going to share with you guys the exact date. So you got to save that date. So today let's talk about Bitcoin, its sudden rise upwards, and let's talk about two small cap projects directly related to Bitcoin that will gain massively from Bitcoin's rise upwards. So let's talk about all these things and more. All right, let's do it. Welcome, guys. Bitcoin is looking very, very strong. It broke 47,000 several times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's more than 5 times. Okay, took a little breather, couple times. Now looks like it wants to run back up. We're at 46.7. Man, today was good. Today was good, at least for Bitcoin. Now, some of the alts are starting to come up. Like, I can't help but notice Solana's back at 99. It's up 11% today. Cardano's up 11%. Avalanche is up 10%. So now you're starting to see some alts get back in action. This whole day, we haven't seen the alts move. But now, we're starting to see the money flow in. But here's the kicker. As good as today has been, Bitcoin barely started. And I think we're going to have a massive pump. One that's much bigger than today's. That's coming up in just a couple of days. Now, what am I talking about? Okay, I think you guys know. First of all, we haven't seen 47,000. I can't believe. Since late 2021. I thought it was early 2022. But no, we haven't seen Bitcoin at 47 since 2021. Okay, so obviously we're moving very, very quickly, closing in at $50,000. Do you guys even remember the 20,000 days from last year? Like even the 30,000s? Like it seems like we moved so fast. Like we just skipped through all those barriers, right? And now 50,000 is right around the corner. And this is what I'm talking about. In approximately 1 day, 11 hours, of course, it could come sooner than this. We're going to get spot ETF approvals. It could have been today. Seems like no. Gary wants us to wait. Gary does not want to give us what we all want early. He wants us to wait until the very last moment, January 10th. Even BlackRock is basically expecting approval on Wednesday, the 10th. Now, why do we think it's going to happen? Well, Gary gave us a big clue. Now, at first I didn't quite understand where this was going. But now I reread it and I totally understand where he's going. At first, I thought he was, trying to spread a little bit more FUD on the entire crypto sector, which he does. Which basically, he's like, well, those offering crypto asset investment services may not be compliant with applicable laws, including federal security laws. Investors in crypto asset securities should understand they may be deprived of key info and other important protections in connection with their investment. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, basically, he's trying to say a lot of crypto projects, may be considered securities, and you should watch out for yourself when you're investing in crypto, right? So, yeah, that is causing a lot of FUD. But why would he say it today of all days? Well, it's because I think he's trying to help his buddies at BlackRock because basically it's going to push people towards spot ETFs, if you think about it, right? Why else would he shun the buying of crypto from projects other than to drive people towards spot ETFs? right? If you think about it, because these spot ETFs are approved by the SEC, right? And away we go, right? So basically Gary's tweet this morning set the stage that ETFs are coming, okay? We have to wait maybe another day or two, but they are definitely coming, and he's definitely trying to help these ETFs get kickstarted by throwing out another warning and trying to spread FUD about everything under the sun, right? But it's just a matter of time, guys. As explosive and as good as things have been today, I believe they are going to get much, much better in a couple of days. That's why Bitcoin has shot up so much today, and it's not over yet, and why the entire crypto market is going up in a big, big way. So, how big, you may be wondering? Well, according to Standard Chartered, that's not me. According to Standard Chartered, one of the biggest banks in Europe, they believe spot ETFs will bring anywhere from $50 to $100 billion in 2024 alone. Think about it. That is an enormous amount of money, and that could be conservative. In fact, I think that is going to be conservative. I think 50 to 100 billion maybe in the first 6 months. But as FOMO kicks in, as Bitcoin gets higher and higher and higher, and as it closes in to its previous high, you're going to have FOMO unlike you have ever seen before. Before, when people felt FOMO, a lot of them were limited in terms of how they could buy Bitcoin because they didn't want to learn Coinbase or Robinhood. Now they don't. People that have FOMOing, they go buy spot ETFs directly from their brokerage accounts. So 50 to 100 billion sounds like a lot, but on a grand scheme of things, it's nothing. And I think a whole lot of people are going to start FOMOing in later this year. They've been ignoring Bitcoin all throughout 2023, but more and more people are starting to pay attention. How could they not, as Bitcoin is approaching 50,000, and how every newscast and every publication is now starting to talk about Bitcoin, right? But here's the thing. A lot of you guys know this. I've been preaching this for a long time. You didn't have to listen to the news. You didn't have to listen to publications. You didn't even have to trade. All you had to do, the winning strategy all along has been to DCA. Even if you started DCAing at the very top of the last cycle at 69,000, if you DCA'd all the way until now, same amount, your average would only be 27,000, and you would be up 70%. 70%. That's a lot. Even if you started at the top. That's how awesome DCA is. And so many people have said it's worked for them. People have commented in the live chat. You guys know who you are, right? DCA works. That's all you have to do. Now, if you want to throw in some fancy trading or degen, meme buys or whatever, that's fine. But the ultimate strategy, vast majority of your portfolio should just be holding and DCAing. That's really it. Nothing fancy. All the famous, wealthy, self-made billionaires, they all say the same thing. No one can tell you where the markets will go tomorrow or next week, next month. You simply DCA over a long haul, right? Or you buy low and sell high, and that's how you win, right? So that's what a lot of people are doing, especially whales. $24 million worth of Bitcoin bought on Coinbase, transferred to a wallet. This is just one of numerous examples. You got whales that are buying tens of millions of dollars like every day. That's why supply is such a factor when it comes to Bitcoin, because we have a set supply. The halving event will cut inflation in half. And you got Michael Saylors of the world that are buying hundreds of millions seemingly every month. And you got smaller whales that are buying tens of millions every day. There's just not enough Bitcoin to go around. That's why we retail investors, right, all we could do is DCA, and it works, right? And we could still DCA at a reasonable price right now. Just wait until Bitcoin is above 100,000. Wait until Bitcoin is above 200,000. Then it's just not so easy to DCA anymore. So we still have time on our hands. And lastly, I'll talk about this. This is where Bitcoin is anticipated to go, right? Humans have a difficult time comprehensive exponential growth. Hold on tight, or I should say strap on tight. This is going to be fun. That's exactly what Bitcoin's going to do. Of course, there'll be some up and downs, right, as we're trending upwards. But if you look at any altcoins in 2021, that's exactly what it looks like. Like all of them, every single one looked like that. Bitcoin looked like that. So if you think that's funny, and you think, oh, it's just, it doesn't it doesn't possibly move like that, it does. It really does. I'm just going to select something like Solana, for example. Okay, if you don't believe that, go all-time high. Look at that. That's exactly what it did right there, right? Like, and that's within a matter of months. That's not over years. Just a matter of months. Look at this. Boom. And then boom, right? I mean, that's how parabolic things will get for basically everything, including Bitcoin, right? So, like I said, strap on and hold forward. All right. Now, speaking of Bitcoin, let's talk about some projects, smaller cap projects that relate directly to Bitcoin that you guys have been asking me about. These are two that a lot of people have asked me about. Okay, we know that Bitcoin has expanded beyond just a payment gateway or a payment rail, I should say, and a store value. Store value is the greatest. And I think that's never going to change. I consider Bitcoin a store value, and I'm going to treat it that way. I don't even use it as a payment rail. Sometimes I do, but primarily store value. But we know that Bitcoin is now opening up. Okay? There's demand for ordinals, utilizing inscriptions, and there are layer 2s that are coming on board Bitcoin to bring DeFi, okay, decentralized finance. So we know that's happening. It's very, very early, but who knows? By the end of this cycle, DeFi and layer 2s and ordinals could be the dominant things for Bitcoin, right? Who knows? And maybe so dominant it starts eating the market share away from all of our other favorite L1s. We don't know. It's still too early to make a call, right? But there's two projects I want to talk about tonight that relate to exactly these things. Number one, Multibit or Mubai. They had a fantastic day today, up 25%. But here's the thing, they're only at 157 million. Compared to some of these L1s I show you guys that are already 500 million or a billion, right? Even at a billion, it's getting started. But 157 million, relatively small, relatively new project. And what are they about? They're basically one gigantic bridge that brings BRC20 tokens into Ethereum. Okay? But not only Ethereum, they're trying to bridge everywhere. So basically BRC20 tokens, so all the ordinals, like, I don't know, for example, Ordi or Sats or Rats or whatever else, you can now bridge them back and forth between Bitcoin and ETH and BNB. Okay, so they're already multi-chained. And they're basically one big bridge to kind of bring liquidity onto all these chains. And not only that, they're working on Solana too. So they're trying to make this bridge from Bitcoin into all of our favorite L1s and try to make BRC20 standard tokens a thing. So that soon on, I don't know, Orca for Solana or Radium, right? And Uniswap and PancakeSwap, you'll be able to trade all your favorite BRC20 tokens and vice versa. Probably you could trade, some of these other tokens on Bitcoin too. So that's exactly what Multibit is trying to do. So that's kind of interesting. Not only is it interesting, I think it's useful for people that actually, that actually are DeFi guys that really want to utilize this, because we know in DeFi, there's a lot of other potential ways of making money, like yield, like providing liquidity and so forth, right? They also have their NFT bridge, which is also operational. So they're just trying to be one big bridge, right? One big bridge. And also, they integrated with Alchemy Pay, which is a fiat on-ramp, off-ramp. So not only can you find them on CEXs or centralized exchanges, but you can buy them directly on their own website utilizing Alchemy Pay, right? So that's number one, Multibit. It's relatively easy. You don't really need to know anything other than it's a giant bridge for BRC20 and for ERC20 and BSC20. Right? I don't know if Binance is BSC20, but it's something, right? So it's and soon Solana. So that's what they're doing. Could actually turn out to be pretty big if BRC20 tokens start expanding into other these chains, right? So that's number one. Really small project, but they have some momentum. Now, the other one I want to talk about is even smaller, Mintlayer. And they're only at 55 million. Okay. Mintlayer is doing exactly opposite of Multibit. Rather than try to be a bridge, they are basically a layer 2. They're a layer on top of Bitcoin, kind of like Stacks. And they want to actually create tokens. Rather than utilize BRC20 tokens, they want people to utilize their own token standard for things that can operate on Bitcoin. For example, DEXs, right? And NFTs and real world assets and anything else in between. So they're not bridging. They're just a layer 2 on top of Bitcoin. Exactly kind of like Stacks. Now, why do they think this is better versus just utilizing BRC20 tokens? Well, because in this blog, they basically say because it pollutes Bitcoin, it makes it very congested. There's a lot of unsolved transactions or unverified transactions. You know, basically, they see a problem. Too much congestion with all these ordinals and BRC20 standard. That's why they want to create their own standard, which is kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting, right? And since they have no bridges, they use what's called atomic swaps, which I can't tell you what atomic swaps are, but they have been around for a quite a long time. But they have their own native swapping basically going on. So there's no need for wrap tokens, synthetic tokens, token bridges, or federated tokens, right? So that's what they're about. And lastly, their mainnet is about to come out in about 20 days, 21 days to be exact, right? So that's when all this that I just talked about will be launching. So another relatively interesting small cap project, 55 million in market cap, could definitely blow up. As Bitcoin gets stronger and bigger, more of these smaller cap projects that relate directly with Bitcoin will probably have a lot of pumps. I mean, just look at Stacks. Stacks is one of the greatest performers. Look at it, it's up 23% just today alone at $3 billion, right? So some of these other ones, they definitely have the potential to move the same way because they're all directly related to Bitcoin and trying to help Bitcoin in a big way in terms of expansion and getting into DeFi and tokenization and everything else, right? So that is all, my friends. That is all. And as for Bitcoin, it continues to go up. This morning, man, I was making bank with my leverage place. I had to close my out because I got a little scared, and it turned out to be a bad decision. But I still kept my injective Solana and Stacks open, which are all doing very well today. You could see, based on these alone, I made $7,000. But if you look at my transaction history, I should not. Sometimes you get scared, and you're not supposed to get scared. But when playing with leverage, you have to. See, like this morning, I'll show you real transactions here. I made $423 from Celestia, $332 from Lido, right? So I closed this out, put in a Bitcoin, did a 35x, made about $6,400. Then I closed that out and opened another one and made $7,400. But this last one I closed, I lost $5,600 because I was scared it might go down a little bit. I should not have done that because I would be up another $5,000. But overall, I'm up for today, so I can't complain. But yeah, you know, today was a really good day, and I think it's going to get better. I think tomorrow we're going to get stronger leading up into Wednesday, and then when we get the spot ETFs, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy, and Bitcoin's pumping right now. Asia's probably waking up. Asia's like, I know Europe is asleep. Asia's waking up, so they may be FOMOing in right now, right? Yeah. Okay, let's do some Q&A. 15-minute looks good. 1 hour looks like it wants to flip upwards. 4 hours a little bit overbought. Yeah, but we might be at 47,000 in no time. No time at all. All right. Let's do some Q&A. Mr. Joe Mama, do you think Steamboat Willie Mickey NFTs going to be a big next thing? I have no idea what you're talking about. Sorry, man. I have no idea. That may be the next hot thing, but I wouldn't know. Man, Bitcoin is just flying. I need to throw my leverage open again. I don't want to miss this. I'm just going to throw in all of it here. All right. Now watch it go dump. It's okay. Yeah, sorry. I don't know anything about that NFT. I really don't. Citizen Crypto, BDC as a store of value. Close my long trade. Also give me an acid reflux. Yeah, I mean, you know, when you have huge leverage trade, it could swing, you know, both ways, right? So it's better to be safe than sorry and just close it out when you make money. That's really it. Marco says, I raved about this back when it's 6 cents. Another option is if you miss Multibit or to Zeke is another option. Well, congratulations. That means you made a lot of money. Or you were a private investor. Because if you're a private investor, you got into seed round or pre-seed round, of course you could get in low. Why did the alts dip Saturday and then spike? Paul, I said this in my Sunday video. First of all, it seems like every single Sunday we get a major dip for whatever reason. It's been happening for months now. Second of all, a lot of people may have been selling in anticipation of a Bitcoin pump, so they can actually use that money to pump Bitcoin. So I don't think that was from retail investors. I think a lot of whales and market makers were doing that. If SEC doesn't approve ETF, will Bitcoin go below 40K? Probably. If somehow by Wednesday it comes out, nothing is approved, and then we have to wait until March. Yeah, we'll probably get a nasty drop below 40, and then we'll come right back up and maybe hover around 42 again. So something like that. Johnny 5, you're making a degen tendencies itching tonight. Hey, you know what? I just tell people, okay, I do this for fun. I can afford it. If I lose money, I don't like losing money, but it's not gonna kill me, right? I just hope that people realize that, hey, everyone is in a different situation. You're your own man or woman. You have to make your own choices, right? If you make a mistake, learn from it and move on, or stop doing it altogether, right? So that's really what it comes down to. Shady Luke, so long to the folks who told me crypto's a scam. Salute to them. Bless you all. Don't FOMO. I don't know who told you crypto is a scam. I'm guessing you're in a 37% tax bracket. Is leverage worth it? Paying that much? No, you know, to be quite honest, 100% transparent. I lost more money playing with leverage than I ever made money from it. Okay, completely honest. I had some spectacular, huge trades recently that kind of caught up, but I've been losing money with leverage for a long time. The reason why I do it is because I'm quite honestly like bored and I want to FOMO into something. That's really the reason why. Like I'm sitting here and I'm watching Bitcoin go up to like 47,000. I'm like, I want to take advantage of that. Rather than throw in like 100K, I could just throw in like 10K and play with some leverage and get the same gains from it, right? That's why I do it. So again, I don't recommend people to do it, especially large amounts, if they don't know what they're doing, because they will get wrecked really fast. Future for Polkadot, it's probably gonna do well. I just don't like Polkadot. I like others like Solana, Avalanche, even Polygon. I'll even take Cardano over Polkadot at this point. Is Jewel a good pickup? Hey, by the way, speaking of Jewel, I heard their Twitter got hacked. So whatever you do, don't follow what they're saying on their Twitter account. They're probably gonna tell you to send some Jewel or something to someone. Don't do it. But you know, I like Jewel. I like DeFi Kingdoms. So they're holding. They're much better than a few months ago when they were trading like at 8 million market cap, right? But they're far off from their billion plus market cap. They're making moves. They're trying to add more game ability to their DeFi game. Yeah. Man, a lot of missed chats here. Do you feel we'll see a retracement in Bitcoin down to 37 or 32 like everyone is saying? In fact, Crypto Forward, I don't know what you're talking about because I know no one that's saying that. So I feel like you're watching certain bearish people that may be saying that. And the answer is no. I don't see a retracement, especially down to 32K from our levels. No. 37K, we get an ETF denial, maybe. I don't know who you're watching that says we're for certain going to go down to 37 or 32. They must be very, very, very bearish or I don't know. Team Colin, you're welcome. Cristiano says, going to divorce court on the 10th. Needless to say, my life can be changing drastically that day. Wife changing money. Well, you said it's amicable, so that means you guys both decided that. But you know what? Money doesn't buy you happiness. Money solves money problems. That's what it does. Money solves money problems. It frees you from those problems, but money doesn't buy you happiness. So that's what I truly believe. So, you know, all jokes aside, everyone, you know, says, oh, you got so much money, you could get all the girls and do whatever you want, right? Do you really want all these girls that you don't respect? Or would you rather have one girl that you respect and love and you can be with forever? I choose the latter. Perry, if we're blessed with a dump to 35 to 38K on Sell the News event, that's our last great buy opportunity before the train leaves. I don't disagree with that. I think that's true. I think that's true. Why is everyone asking for the most educational video on the planet about XRP? There's no more XRP, guys. Like, I don't hear anyone ever asking me about XRP. I really don't.
What do you think about Ripple?
Well, I mean, I think it's too centralized, but I definitely want to meet Chris Larson.
you go. The most educational video ever created about XRP. Hopefully you learned a thing or two about it by watching that video. Or you may have lost some brain cells. Have I heard of Project Guardian? I have. It's like something. I don't know exactly. It's like something that sounds like the name. It protects you from. It's like, I think it's like a virus scanner or decentralized virus scanner or a malware protector or something like that. Chris of the Cape, I'm sorry. I don't mean to go so deep. But sometimes, you know, it's fun. You know, sometimes it's okay to have your fun. Right? Once you had it, then you realize, well, it's not so fun anymore. Have you heard of MND? Mind. Well, no. I did not hear this. It's only 5 million in market cap. Interesting AI play. A bridge between your thoughts and executable algorithms. What the hell does that mean? Agnostic graph-based meta programming language designed for both AI and humans, enabling easy program creation and modification through natural language or drag and drop. See, the first half of this basically loses 100% of the people. Just say Mind is a natural language or drag and drop editor designed for AI. That's all you need to say. Okay? But when you say it's agnostic graph-based meta programming language, I don't think anyone truly understands what that means. And because of that, I'm off. Bonk Moon incoming. Hey, Bonk had a really good day. Man, Bonk is up to 777 million. It was just at like 400 million. Man, Bonk's been doing really, really well. It started to come up. It looks like that was the bottom. It may be flipping upwards. Can't be ignoring Bonk or Solana. If Bonk gets strong, Solana's going to start getting strong. GT3 RS or Ferrari 50. 458 is so much cheaper to buy. The GT3 RS, well, it depends on what generation, but I don't know. If you want to drive stick, you want to drive track car, of course you go to GT3 RS. I have never driven one, but I'm sure the driving experience is way better than a 458. But 458, you could daily drive that every day. So it depends on what you want. I don't have any thoughts, Tony, about any Inu, the first Omni-chain meme. I don't even hear about anyone doing anything on Omni-chain. How do I turn $100 into $1,000? DCA. If I was trying to do that, I'd buy some Bitcoin. I buy some Solana. I would also just buy a lot of the big cap stuff. I buy some Avalanche. I buy some Chainlink, some Polygon. I would never buy ICP. But, you know, buy some of these other ones. And then just sit and wait. And then let the gains come to you. By the end of this year, you'll probably see a 10x. Citizen Crypto, can Satoshi be alive and adding to his bag because he doesn't like the new government involvement? I don't know, someone just sent, 27 million to Satoshi's wallet, whether that's Satoshi himself or someone else. We don't know. Charles Sexton, I appreciate that. I would never leverage Bonk. I have tried that before. I constantly lose nonstop in Bonk. I only won like basically one or twice. Bonk just too volatile. You can't really do crazy leverage on things that's very volatile. Unless you're just watching it every minute. Inside out FTX balance sheet looks like they had a hold closer to 2.2 billion. Now they're back. It seems like they've recovered everything. Based on the last news reports, it seems like they magically found all the money that were like hidden away, and they should be able to open up and repay everyone. RBX DeFi. RabbitX, 42 million. It's about the same as Mintlayer. Let's take a look, just in case. Perpetual DEX for traders. What does this have to do with Bitcoin? Today, I showed two, Multibit and Mintlayer, specifically because they relate to Bitcoin, and they're both doing very well. Multibit is going up even more, right? One is a layer 2. Mintlayer is a layer 2 for Bitcoin. Multibit is a bridge for Bitcoin. So not the same as RabbitX, which is a derivative, decentralized derivative DEX, basically. It's not getting listed on Binance this Wednesday. I hope they get listed on Binance. Do you still hold Cocky New? Can you take a look? I do. And I still hold Husky and Balls. It's only up 2%. Man, more people need Cock. Cock solves a lot of people's problems. Kimbo's up 11%, but still down. And then Balls on You is up 15%. Avalanche needs to get hotter. Once Avalanche heats up again, all these three memes will start going up. But Avalanche got weaker, so that's why they haven't been doing well. Is my 200 or 200,000 ADA a good amount? If you're saying 200 ADA, sure. Or 200,000 ADA, sure, if you believe in them that much. I can't tell you if it's a good amount to hold. It matters on your income level. Stormyville. TrueFi. TrueFi sounds very familiar. I'm pretty sure I've seen that before. I don't recall. Oh, I know this project. I'm not a fan. They're the one that created their own stablecoin, and what's their stablecoin? TUSD? Wasn't it TUSD? I'm almost positive they created TUSD, but yeah, they're like a DeFi project. Yeah. Their DeFi project, not a fan. They've been out for a while. Shady Luke, I mentioned this before, but tribalism in crypto is hilarious. Keep hating on projects that can potentially make you a lot of money. Here's the thing. Here's the beauty about crypto. There are thousands. In fact, there's more than thousands. According to CMC, there's 2 million plus right here in the corner, upper corner here. Crypto's 2 million plus. So just because you don't like one, that doesn't mean that you're going to lose out, because there's 2 million other projects that you can make money on. Okay, so you don't have to like everything. And if you love it anyways, then go ahead and buy and hold it. You don't need every single person to agree with you. That's the thing. There's literally millions of cryptos, and you just pick the ones that you like. Do you think perpetual dexes, do you like perpetual dexes? Not really. I don't use them. Overall, dexes are just boring to me. Like even Uniswap, Sushi Swap, Pancake Swap, Quick Swap, Min Swap, all these swaps, you know, they're very useful, but they don't really appeal to me at all. Jim Cramer just said BTC is topping out here. Well, that means Inverse Cramer is going to kick in soon. Litecoin, big gains. I'm rooting for you, man. But you and I both know it's not true. Radium is having a good day. 20%. 20%. So a lot of stuff is coming up today. Orca's up 10%. But I did say Radium, you know, at one point in time, they were the biggest DEX. Orca seems to have surpassed them, but still, Radium has good traction. Today, Solana-based stuff is doing well, very well. Alex Luke says, give us a 100x token. Cock in you could do a 100x. It can. Have you heard of Yaya Coin? No, I have not. Shady Luke, thank you. Appreciate it. What do you factor in before buying a coin? Well, there's a couple things I look at. It may be hard to do for some. I try to think of competitors, like who are the biggest competitors, and where does it compete with them, and how does it stand out from them. Sometimes you can't find anything. Like you guys asked me a million L1s, new ones. Can I honestly say any of them are better than Cardano, Avalanche, Solana, Polygon, and these guys? A lot of them are no. They're all theoretical. So, you know, sometimes it's just tough. But yeah, you try to look at some of these things, differentiators, maybe their team is strong, maybe they're investors, how much they're moving, you know, so forth. There's a lot of things you just look at. And sometimes you look at all these things and you think it's a winner and it just never moves because they're horrible at marketing. Some are horrible projects, but they move because they have great marketing. So sometimes it just doesn't make any sense. Carlos, if you had a chance to be part of a project, what would you choose? Like any of these L1s? Or, I would like to be, I am an angel investor, so I am investing in some of these. I feel like the one area that I'm not very strong in right now are the new Bitcoin related projects. Like the one I talked about, Multibit and Mintlayer. I feel like those are just tip of the iceberg. There's so many others. So I would like to be involved with like a Bitcoin related project. And I have looked at several projects that I could have potentially invested in, but they didn't seem that strong. But I think that could be a big thing. The Bitcoin long I just threw was it's up 4%. Not bad. $500. $500 in 30 minutes. Myro. Yeah, someone was saying that Myro was pumping like crazy this morning. It is pumping. It came back down a little bit from this peak. Right now, as Bitcoin consolidates a little bit, well, it's about to break 47 again. Yeah, basically as it's consolidating a little bit, some of this money is flowing to alts again, which is great. Because the alts really took a beating this weekend. Took a huge beating this weekend. IOTA, man, I have no idea what IOTA is doing anymore. Back in 2021, they said there were going to come out new chains that are EVM compatible. There were going to come out a dev chain and a new chain and all these chains. I have no idea if they did any of those things. George, you could learn a leverage game and get really good at it instead of just FOMOing. I know I could, but like I don't have the patience to like chart everything and look at all the lines and stuff all day long. I generally do time it. I generally like time it so that I'm not just FOMOing toward the top here. I just did that just to show you guys. But generally speaking, I do try to time it, like, for example, zooming out a little bit. When this happened, right? And when this happened, I opened some longs because I knew it was going to come back, right? No TA necessary. You just know Bitcoin's going to bounce back. I think I took a little bit over here too. Now I got liquidated here because it was like a nasty drop, and then I reopened. So that's how I do it. I just try to find days where you see these big drops and get in. That's my strategy. And I do little amounts and I try to spread it out. H-bar is top tier, Turpy Time says, but I don't talk about it. I talk about H-bar all the time because there's 100 people asking me about it. What would you like to talk about with H-bar? You tell me what you like and I will respond to it. I have $500. What would you put it on if you wanted to make the most? I mean, I can't advise you, okay? I'm not your financial advisor, but if my sole mission was to make as much money as I could within the shortest amount of time with $500, I would go memes. Like for me, based on the memes I know that are hot right now, I'd probably just throw it into Myro. It's still relatively small, under 100 million. It can double really easily, something like that. That's if it's me. The smarter thing to do is to still DCA and put some into Bitcoin, put some into Solana, put some into Injective, put some into, I don't know, some memes, right? Like spread it out. But if I was in a contest, let's say, and I had to make the most I could within like a week with the smallest amount of money, it'd probably be a meme coin or leverage. And I don't hold any Myro right now. I probably will buy some after this. Thoughts on mobile? Isn't that Helium Mobile's token? I don't know. I like Helium better. I think Helium is a better play. But mobile is much smaller. It's a fourth in size. I don't know. I gotta look at the token economics of both because I don't know if they're. It seems like they're not inflationary. It seems like they have a set supply, but you can see Helium Mobile has a max supply of 200 billion, but only 80 billion is released. So obviously they're going to inflate it more, right? But if you look at HNT, it's 223 million and 159 million has been out. So there's a lot less to be released. So bottom line is Helium is less inflationary at this point. Do I hold ETH? Very little. Crypto Candle, you can stop spamming. Why don't you like ICP? Because it's too centralized. It's that simple. You don't have to keep spamming at 100 different times. Aptos will transform the world, question mark. I don't think so. If you think so, please explain why. All right, guys. Let's conclude. Overall, Bitcoin looks like it wants to pump and pump some more. Today was just the beginning. When we get spot ETF approvals, which could be on Wednesday or it could be tomorrow, right? It could be tomorrow or Wednesday. But once we get it, a massive pump will be incoming for sure. Today is just a drop in a bucket compared to what we will see later this year. So stay strong, my friends. Smash up the like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right, have a good one. Take care.